Friends, family, cousins, welcome back to another game by the Cousin Billy. Today we're playing Alan Wake 2. Now, I'm pretty pissed because I started a recording 35 minutes, did all of this work, um, spent 20 minutes of that going over the entire story of Alan Wake 1 and speaking to Control. And I played about, I don't know, like 20 minutes of the game, and it didn't save anything. Well, no, it did. It did. Um, I went to go pause the game and it wouldn't let me pause. I'm like, that's weird. Let me like turn off the recording, and it wouldn't let me turn off the recording. So I had to actually manually just like turn it off, and it crashed. I tried to watch the recording, and yeah, it's unfortunate. It didn't save, but you know, it is what it is. What can you do? Anyways, I'm gonna go over Alan Wake 1 in Control really quickly. Um, but even quicker than what I did last time, but also there's gonna be some thoughts down below, and or not thoughts. There's gonna be links down below. Here, this is probably there's gonna be links down below in the description that provide an overview of what happened, what you need to know for Alan Wake 2. But I've heard that you also don't need to know anything because not only are you playing as Alan Wake, who's experienced the story, but you also play as a new person who's investigating the Alan Wake case. Um, so without further ado, let me just provide an overview, but let me pause and make sure this shit's working. Okay, it's working. All right, so Alan Wake. So the story of Alan Wake is about a guy, a writer named Alan Wake. He and his wife um, went to an island in the middle of this lake called Cauldron Lake. It was a kind of a resort island. They got a little cabin. Um, and Alice Wake, his wife, did all of this stuff, and Alan Wake was kind of a dick about it. He was like, "God damn it, Alice!" Blah blah blah. While there's a storm happening outside of the cabin, and I don't remember the details, but Alice falls into the lake. Alan tries to save her, but there's like these shadow people that are like attacking him. Um, he gets injured, he hurts his head, um, and he's starting to fight and or run away from these shadow people. The way he fights them is he has to put light on them from his flashlight, um, and then they're vulnerable and shit. Well, he runs into someone in town, and they're in the town of Bright Falls. So like, it was a cop, and he says, "Hey, my wife fell into the lake. I need to go get her. She's like, I don't know where she is, but she fell into the lake. We were renting a place in the cabin." She's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Dude, no one has like been staying in that island for like for decades now, not since like the 70s." And he's just like, "What the fuck?" So you don't know whether or not he's going crazy, he got like that um, head wound, or if something odd is going on. He runs into this like not mental institution, but like mental wellness, whatever thingy. Has a bunch of like crazies, and it's run by this guy named Hartman. And you run into like these like two old rockers who like had like an old like rock band, that are part of the crazy people, but like they seem to know more than what they let on. Um, it seems like they're aware of like the bullshit that Alan Wake has been dealing with. Um, what else? You also learn more about like the Monty itself, or like what has been going on. Um, So there is some weird entity, um, that feeds on creative folk, and it helps push these people to do more creative endeavors. So in that time between Alan Wake's wife falling into the ocean, and him like I don't know, like dealing fighting his way through the shadow people. He was around for a week. Um, I think I think so. I don't know. There's an entity that was basically the shadow person that was basically controlling him and making him write a story. This entire like he was in throughout the course of the game, he finds pieces of a manuscript that Alan Wake wrote that he doesn't remember. This was written in the time between that the entity had like kind of, I guess, control over him. Um, so a couple of things happen. He learns more about that. He learns more about like this other writer named Thomas Zane. So Thomas is also a writer from the 70s, and they had the same thing where him and his wife went to the island, that little island on Cauldron Lake, in the cabin, and is it even an island? Are they even on an island? I don't even remember. Whatever. Um, but Alan writes about something that happened in Alan Wake's past, where when he was a kid, his Alan Wake's mom gave him like a clicker, like like one of those like light lamp, literally like a lamp clicker, like like that has like the electrical cord, and then like there's like a bulging area that has like a on-off switch on it. It was a cut-out clicker that he gave Alan as a kid and said, "Hey, like these will take care of the monsters if you press this button. Like the shadow monsters will be gone." And Thomas wrote about that, and Alan's just like, "What the fuck? That's like literally my childhood. How did you write about this?" So, um, it's a question of whether or not like Thomas Zane wrote Alan Wake into it, because so I should explain. The entity that like controls like these like creative folks, some of the stuff that they create comes to life. It becomes real, especially with like the writers. Like some of the shit that like in the manuscripts that Alan starts writing, starts predicting shit that happens. So you're like, how is this happening? How did Alan write about this when he didn't know about this happening? Um, so there's a question of whether Thomas Zane actually wrote Alan Wake into existence, or if Alan Wake wrote Thomas Zane into existence, and Thomas Zane wrote and he wrote this whole like the whole like light like the clicker situation into that story. There's a lot of confusion there. No one really fucking knows, not even now. Um, but basically, at the end of it, Thomas, sorry, Alan Wake confronts Thomas Zane's wife, who is basically the representation, like, or the representation of the wife, um, which is that entity. And he presses the clicker on it, and he already wrote about how the clicker gives the power to destroy the shadow people, or like take care of the bad guys. So it actually defeats this entity, and Alice Wake is able to leave um, she's been in the lake, but like she's not like trapped underwater. She's in the dark place, which is a shadow version of the cabin that they were in. Literally what the screen is showing right now. So she was able to leave, which is great, but Alan had to make a sacrifice. He had to enter the dark place, the cabin, um, in place of Alice. And so that's kind of how the game ends, with Alan stuck in the dark place and him saying, "It's not a lake, it's an ocean." So a couple of DLC episodes came out, and it was basically about him exploring his powers of writing in the dark place and how like he can manipulate things. Um, that's cool. I don't really know much more about that. But like he's not in the cabin. It like takes place like him in like the town of Brightfall, which is where um the lake is in. It's in that's the town of Brightfall. Um, but he's basically writing these events. So you're playing what he's writing down, but like he's basically in reality he's going crazy in the cabin. I mean, and that's not even reality, but like everything takes place in his stories. So a pseudo sequel kind of came out called Alan Wake American Nightmare, and in that, um, it's still the same thing where Alan Wake is trapped in the dark place and he's writing things, but there's also a doppelganger Alan Wake, and he's a bad guy. It's kind of like Twin Peaks. Um, this doppelganger was introduced at the end of the first game. Um, I think he was like killing someone, and he reveals his name, but he reveals his name and you hear a scratching sound. So fans never knew what his name was, so they just call him Mr. Scratch. Um, yeah. So you're fighting Mr. Scratch the entire game in American Nightmare. Um, Basically, you run into these like couple people throughout the town of Brightfall, and Mr. Scratch kills them. Um, but Alan, he's the writer. He's a writer of the story. So when shit doesn't go his way, he just restarts the story. So it's kind of like a time loop, but it's not a time loop. It's Alan Wake controlling the story and being like, I don't like the way the story is going. Let's scratch that. Um, so you basically go through it a few times trying to manipulate events so that people don't die. It takes a few like few spans of times, but you get it. You get it so that no one dies, and you're able to defeat Mr. Scratch, and you are able to leave the dark place. Great, good for you. Um, you're able to leave the dark place, but you're still, unfortunately, not. Uh, yeah, you're able to leave the dark place, and you are able to meet up with Alice, and they kiss on like the shore, and everything's great. But the narrator is basically saying like, is this what's real, or is this fact or fiction? Is this or part of Alan's story? Is this uh, what's going to happen in the future, or the ideas of a person going crazy? Like, who knows? So that's all of that. That's Alan Wake. Control basically is a game about um, a federal bureau of investigate of control. It's literally the FBC, and their job is basically like X Files if they had proper funding. Um, they take cursed things or anomalies or weird things that just don't work right with the world. Something creepy, something like think about every horror movie, like the Chucky doll or like um any type of horror like object, all those paranormal activity or like the any of those. Basically what happens is the Federal Bureau of Investigation comes in. They It's kind of like the SBC where they just like get everything contained, take it with them to this like very sterile location, and write procedural documents about it, and they contain it. Um, so like you'd have like yeah the Chucky doll, you'd have like Jason's mask, you'd have like I don't know Freddy Krueger's claw or Freddy Krueger there, or like the Munchkin monsters from the Gremlins. Um, you would have all of these things, but like all separated in their different rooms in like controlled environments. So you come there. I forget exactly why you go there. Um, but basically, while you are there and visiting, um, this extra interdimensional, extraterrestrial, I don't know, monster called the Hiss come in. The Hiss are like a hive mind entity thing um, that starts taking over people, over everything there. And so you're dealing with that, and basically, you know, you having a lot of cursed objects in the same area, if something causes things to break down in there, it can cause a lot of chaos. And that's what it did. So your job was basically dealing with that. So the Alan so basically there is a connection between Alan Wake, even though it doesn't sound like it, they didn't really make it obvious. They do in a DLC. But basically, Alan Wake, Cauldron Lake, the whole dark place, this whole bullshit. This is just one instance of a altered world event, um, an altered item, and an object of power, and an anomaly of the world, that these people have dealt with. Um, one of the people from the first Alan Wake game, the Dr. Hartman, the guy who was like taking care of like the crazy people, he lost everything after the end of Alan Wake 1. Like, you know, the Federal Bureau of Control came in, they took away everything because they want to, like, you know, document everything, have it and keep it for their records. And he actually, I think, ended up working for coming to work for the Federal Bureau of Control. So while there, he actually gets possessed, and possessed by the hiss, that extraterrestrial or extra dimensional being. And so you deal with him, you kill him, put him out of his misery, whatever, what have you. But yeah, that's basically the story. You don't need to know all of that, I don't think, because again, this story is also going to focus on finding out what happened with Alan Wake. So there might be some more details, but yeah. Let me just make sure I can still pause the game. Okay, it's still pausing. Cool. We'll do it on hard. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Jesus fucking Christ, I tell you what.
Back to the beginning. We all come to a story with hopes and expectations, looking for an answer.
That's Alan Wake.
Sometimes it would be better to live with that hope without ever knowing the full story. In a horror story, there are only victims and monsters. And the trick is not to end up as either. But trapped by the genre, we are all ripped to pieces along the way.
Hi.
This is not the story I hoped it would be. This is not the ending I wanted. This story will eat us alive. This story is a monster. And monsters wear many faces.
Oh, fucking Nakey Man. Who are you, Nakey Man? Who is the Nakey Man? Show me. I'll play as a Nakey Man. Whoa. So, who the fuck is this guy?
Can you hear me?
Hey, help me. No, please, I need help.
Oh, where'd he gone?
Uh-oh. Okay. God damn. Oh shit! Alan, chill. What the fuck is wrong with you? Holy shit. I hear some bullshit. I don't like the bullshit. This is fucking terrifying. Sprint. Alright, let's just sprint. Let's just run away from here. This is bad. This is bad news, everyone. Oh shit. Oh fuck. So, why is Alan doing this? It's coming. They're talking about me? Oh shit. Okay, let's get out of here. Oh fuck. Oh shit, they shot me. Okay, turn things down a little bit more. Hopefully this helps. Stop! Oh shit! Oh shit. They just fucking took his heart. The cult of the tree. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Cauldron Lake. So there's like a lot of interesting things that happened. So Alan Wake 2. So first the dead body just or not dead body, the naked man just shows up out of the lake. It's so weird. Can I pause? Yeah, I can pause. Okay. So here's my thoughts just from that starting point. We see a naked man come out of the water, right? Kind of weird. Don't know anything about him. And we start seeing flashes of crazy Alan Wake. I don't know what that means exactly, but I'm wondering if those flashes of him represent that Alan Wake is developing this story, developed him. Maybe Alan Wake created this guy. I don't really know exactly, but it's my thought. It's just so weird. I'm wondering if everything of that was created by Alan. Not the cult, I think, but I mean coming out of the lake just I mean we know that the lake is involved with the dark place. That's how someone gets the dark place. So having him come out of the lake feels like he's leaving the dark place. Um, I don't know. I feel like that might have just been. I think that might have been Alan, technically. I mean, or Alan's written creation.
Hey, kiddo.
This sounds so
How
fucking.
are you?
I sound like a fucking
I'm
crazy
good, Mom.
person.
How are you?
This trip might take a little longer than I thought. I'm sorry I've been gone so much lately, Logan.
Oh my god, Mom, it's not your fault people get all murdery.
You know, people get all murdery.
Just
Become a
work
tree
stuff.
cult,
Right.
rip people's hearts
Mom,
out.
Dad and I are just watching the latest episode of Night Springs here. Mom,
So Night Springs is like a Twilight Zone show, and Alan Wake used to write for it.
it's so good.
No spoilers. I'll let you get back to the show. You were supposed to wait and watch with me. I love you both.
This is what happens when you go on work trips, Mom. Love you too. And say hi to Casey. Tell him to stop brooding so much.
Casey.
Logan? I will. Bye, kiddo.
Well, that's gonna be Casey. Look at that fucking brood. The dude brood.
Logan thinks you should try cheering up.
Snarky kid. Wonder where she gets that from.
It can't be a coincidence that another body turns up just as we arrive in town. Feels like the killer's leaving us a message.
Another body. How many bodies have there been?
Glad you're on this case with me, Anderson. It's right up your alley. You should take lead. Think of me as the backup.
Okay. Any words of advice?
Nothing that would cheer anyone up. Here we are. Cauldron Lake.
Oh,
Time to get to work.
alright. Let's see.
A deputy
So-
was supposed to be here to show us to the crime scene. There's the car, so where's the deputy?
Eaten by a bear? I'll check
I
out
mean,
that map.
could be. Return one. Invitation. Oh. This is a pretty good map, actually. I kind of like that it's like... It's actually like a map. It's not like video game map, you know? I mean, like, yeah, sure, my location is present everywhere, but it still just looks like a regular map. Mind Place.
I think I hear someone. Could be our deputy.
I can go take a look.
Hey, over here.
Hi. Cauldron Lake Rental Cabins.
Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan. I just figured that, you know, that, Federal agents right here, Thornton. My partner, Thornton, down at the crime scene. He's not what you call the sharpest axe in the shed.
Not the sharpest tool in the shed. I could use a briefing.
What can you tell us about the crime scene?
I was getting to that, Thornton. Well, we reckon there are some organs that are currently outside the victim's person when they should be, well, you know, inside.
Oh. Any witnesses?
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, a couple out-of-towners. I wonder what they were doing sneaking around the woods at night.
Mention the city folk. It's pretty suspicious.
Not that we have anything against city folk, cried Thornton. But don't worry. Sheriff Breaker took them back to town a while ago.
Let's look at the body.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple. Just through the hole in the fence, down the hill towards the lake, around the old convenience store. You can't miss it. Everything's been closed since the area was fenced off. The store, the campground, all of it.
Mulligan, tell him I'm here waiting. I'll show him around.
They got it, Thornton.
Well, thank you.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly.
You good? Oh, I think they know everything. You got anything to say, dude? Thought we're gonna go over the facts of the case.
I need to think through the facts of the case.
You can access the case board inside your mind place.
The Mind Place.
The
My
mind
version of
place.
the Mind Palace technique. To sift through clues and work the case.
Oh.
Building the Mind Place again for each case. Using each field office as a model in my head.
Oh, this is
The
interesting.
facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
Yeah. Case board is a mental technique that allows Saga to analyze clues and progress the investigation. Use them to walk around. Now free to navigate. Okay. A series of murders have occurred around the town of Bright Falls. Finding the connections will help our search for the killer. Victims. All victims reported missing in 2010. No other commonalities. Ted Lane, dentist, stab wounds, bloating, bruising on the wrists. Victim was reported missing in 2010, discovered in 2012, buried in a shallow grave. Wendy Davis, teacher, body bloated, large chest wound. Found in Cauldron Lake, 2018. Some organs missing. Predation. State of the body does not match 8 years spent in a lake. Percy Wolf, store owner, bruising, heart removed, strange tattoos. Oh, is that the guy? Found 2 weeks ago. Chest wound was ruled as cause of death. Tattooing on the body is illegible. Murder method. Oh. Murder method. Slight differences in murders. Bloating only commonality in bodies, but not cause of death. Chest trauma. Exposure to warm water post-mortem. Bruising on wrists and legs. 2 of the victims had bruising. Some form of restraint. Strapped or belted down. Deep gash in chest. Heart missing. Most recent victim died of major chest trauma. Consistent with 2018 victim. Hard to confirm due to condition of body. All bodies experience bloating. Bloating of the corpse is indicative of drowning, but only 1 victim was found in water. Killer profile. Postmortem tattooing. Victim 3 was covered in illegible tattoos. A message from the killer, maybe? Or their art? The murder targets have no discernible common traits. Apart from going missing in 2010, the victims have nothing apparent in common. Chest trauma resembles animal butchery techniques. Killer may be a sportsman or a hunter. Huh. Cases. I have no cases.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to
Visiting your
cracking
mind
it?
palace does not
We're just
pause the
getting
game.
started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene.
Oh, that is good to know that doesn't pause the game. I can't believe it doesn't pause the game. That's actually terrifying that doesn't pause the game. Deer head. I mean, they did make a big deal about the deer head. Wait. Oh, I can leave like that. Okay.
Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases
Thank you.
that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Mm-hmm. Real funny, Anderson.
Oh god, he's definitely gonna die. But I mean, they called it out, so like maybe he won't.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old.
Mirror Peak, not Twin Peak. Mighty Mountain in the distance is no other than Mirror Peak, the iconic landmark overlooking Cauldron Lake. From the right angle, its beauty will be reflected on the calm surface of the lake, mirrored in all of its inverted glory. Nice.
Fucking nature.
Fucking nature,
Yeah,
man.
headache. There's too much sky.
Yeah, I want to see one thing. Options. Graphics. What if I do this? Damn, it's still pretty high GPU usage.
Not a bad place to get murdered.
If getting back to nature is your thing.
Damn. Should have brought an umbrella.
I like the rain. The only thing around here that feels like home.
You think the local law had the sense to put up a tarp?
If they did, next coffee's on me.
Whoa, what's this? Oh, phone booth? Me here together. General store, Cauldron Lake. Hi.
Deputy Thornton, I take it.
That's me, at your service, ready to get this case solved. Now the body's behind the store. Come on, I'll show you.
Okay. Take me.
So, FBI, huh?
Yup,
That's so cool.
I'm
Hunting
sure.
down psycho serial killers and shootouts with the mob.
You forgot
Wish his
the
ladle
UFO
in the hut.
What?
Ugh.
Those are real? You guys hiring?
Let's just see this body, shall we?
Oh shit.
Now this is the scene of the crime. We found him on the table.
That is
We didn't
dick. Oh
touch
my god.
nothing, you know, procedures and stuff.
Thanks, Deputy.
No tarp. You owe me a coffee.
Okay, let's start by examining our guest of honor. Does this fit the MO of the previous murders?
Well, I'd say so. He's restrained, he's bloated.
Step 1. Examine the corpse. Body is positioned on the table. Ritualistic.
You unlocked your first key image. You can place it on the case board inside their mind palace. Allows you to see active clues. The key images can be selected with. Let's see.
Another body turns up just as we arrive in town. Coincidence?
It begins a new line of investigation. Body, perfect timing to see. You'll be prompted with a new question. Consistent with previous murders. Objectives are viewable at the case board in your goal. Investigate the crime scene. You're now free to examine the case board or leave. Okay, let's leave. You can collect clues from the body, so let's
The
get
killer
that.
left the heart right next to the body.
Yep. The
Bruising on the
bandages.
wrist from the cargo straps holding him down. Inside stab wound. Chest cut open. Heart removed.
So let's take that to the board. Restrained. Live matches other cases. Newly discovered movies on.
Think.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how I have to do it, to put it on like the question
Heart removed
itself.
from chest, strapped by the wrists. Definitely matches the previous murders.
Yeah.
But this time the heart and the straps were left behind. More clues to work with. This makes 4 murders that we know about.
The clues have resolved the open questions and unlocked a deduction. As you advance the investigation, new questions will be unlocked, updating your goals. You can check the updated goals by pressing goals. Learn more about the victim and learn more about the killer. Press. Okay.
Who is our victim? Who killed him? Need to find more clues.
Alright, here's a clue over here.
Multiple people were here. Multiple killers?
Alright, where's 3? Oh, 3 is 2 and 3 are the same, I guess.
Someone was drinking beer. They spent time here. Waiting.
Huh.
Someone left in a hurry. Knocked the tripod over. Was it for a camera?
Victim, the killers. Multiple killers. Yeah, I don't have the right questions yet for this. Like their killer was working alone.
Was he killed here or brought here after? For display? Any idea who the victim is?
Oh, I sure do.
Yeah?
His name is Nightingale. He was FBI.
Nightingale.
He came to town
Really?
about 13 years ago. I haven't heard a word about him since. Well, until now.
Nightingale.
13 years ago.
Nightingale?
Oh, yes. You probably knew him. Brothers in arms. Oh, and sisters.
Who's gonna be speaking to people as well as examining surroundings. Okay, well. Now we have that. No one's heard of this guy in 13 years. Why surface now? Where's he been? Oh,
Large amount of blood on the table.
yeah, there is.
The victim died here.
Alright.
indicating multiple killers.
Multiple assailants
Quite the
present,
party.
as he's seen. Crime of passion, premeditated. Talk to someone. Okay.
So you knew our victim.
Well, I didn't recognize him in his current state. But yeah, I ran into him a few times at Quantico. Never worked any cases together. After his partner got killed in the field, he went off the deep end. Got the boot pretty quick after that.
Icon on the bottom left indicates the critical content. Okay. Nightingale went off the deep end.
Robert Nightingale, ex-FBI, came to Bright Falls 13 years ago.
I trust Casey's view. Sounds like our victim wasn't mentally stable. Premeditated or spontaneous? Well, the fact that there was a cooler and a tripod doesn't sound like it.
They planned for the murder to happen here, passing the time with equipment ready. They were waiting for him. But why Nightingale? He's been missing for 13 years. Why here? Why now?
Victim came from...
Profiling.
We don't know.
Get into the subject's head. See what they saw. Feel what they felt. Use whatever I know about them to guide my intuition to a revelation. Piece it together.
You can use profiling inside of Saga's mind to get inside the heads of the suspects and victims. Nightingale. You can discover new clues in profiling people of interest. Missing
Agent
person.
Nightingale has been MIA for 13 years. How did he end up here?
It's a good question.
Up from the lake that's not a lake. It's dark. He was there too. You are not allowed in the lake until he says otherwise.
Robert Nightingale came from the lake before his murder.
Interesting. Ritual murder.
Nightingale was chosen as the victim. Why?
Like a switch, it goes click. Lights are off. But somebody's home. Somebody's home.
This wasn't some random act of violence. This was a ritual. A Nightingale a component. They didn't see him as a person. More like a container for something.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. What's this?
This mug always cheers me up.
Not the worst, Mom. Cool. So does this let us know more about the case board? Came from Cauldron Lake. Why now? Why after 13 years? Okay, control.
The lake is connected to Nightingale somehow. Casey, let's take a look down by the lake. Lead the way.
Sounds good. This way, right?
Right.
Well, okay. Well, I'll just wait here.
Hold on. Okay.
This one of your hunches, Anderson? Did something happen at the lake?
I think Nightingale came up from that direction. From the lake. Probably looking for shelter. Safety. They were waiting for him.
When you're ready, I'd love to hear what you put together so far.
Sure. It's not that complicated. Nightingale was out in the woods alone at night, possibly nude. The killers knew he was here, ambushed him, dragged him to the campgrounds, strapped him to the table, cut his heart out. But then they were interrupted by those witnesses, the Bookers. The job is unfinished.
That seems pretty complicated to me. What was this guy doing skinny dipping at this time of year?
Haven't figured that part out yet.
Mm-hmm. Lots of questions.
So that takes me up to there. We can explore all this, but we should probably just Cauldron Lake.
I didn't know trees got that big.
Cult of the Tree,
These are
bitch.
the creeps.
You need to get out more. It is kind of creepy, though.
Prince?
There's
What's
a piece
this?
of paper on the ground. Tracks. Barefoot. Nightingales?
What does the piece of
They
paper
come out
say?
from under the boulder.
It makes no sense.
I don't think I can read it.
A page full of text on one side. Not a printout. Written with a typewriter. Old school.
Alan.
Lines scratched out and edits added with a pen.
Mm-hmm. Like a manuscript. Page of a story. Killer left a message.
It's for us. The text is about us. The victim was one of their own. FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale. And then there was the page they found. The first step down into terrifying depths.
Reading
the
words. These words felt like a message.
Felt like a message.
Hi, Alan.
Someone knew they were here. Someone playing a game with them. An invitation. How could they not accept?
Even if they knew it would end up hurting them. Someone's been watching us.
Playing a sick game with us.
Hell yeah, we got an achievement.
This is right up my alley. Nightingale came this way. Either he dropped this page, or the killers left it for us.
Manuscripts can be read inside of Saga's Mind Palace. Ah. Oh.
The Mile High Strangler case.
The Mile
Proud of
High
that one.
Strangler. Cool. Good job. Good job with that one. Leading them on an invitation. How could they not? Interesting. The
We
page.
found a page in the woods. A story about these events. What is Nightingale's role in this?
I carry his words close to my chest now. Inside, the awful truth. You must dig it out.
Something was put inside him. In his chest. I must find out what.
They replaced his heart with something? Hey, I got an idea. Oh, I have charms. My charms can be equipped. Increases maximum health. Oh, I have charm bracelet and flashlight. Do I need to go to the investigation board?
Up from the lake that's not a lake. It's dark.
If you walk through a boulder, it doesn't make sense. Trail has gone cold.
You are not allowed.
I think he came from the lake. But his tracks make no sense.
Killer's watching us. Game on. There we go.
Found all I can here.
Yeah, that's
Time
it.
to properly examine the body. See what I can find inside.
Alright, let's do that.
Casey, I think something's been put inside Nightingale's body. Let's tell the deputies to get the body to the town morgue.
Okay.
Whoever wrote that page made sure it read like a story. Like a scene from a thriller.
I hate all of it. The text
Me
said
too.
we'd find more. I believe it.
But what's the purpose? They're twisting events to create their own narrative. To do what? Entertain some fantasy? Projecting their desires? Are we characters or the audience? Witnesses to their design? All the above?
It's all about control. Deciding what
Control.
happens to who. Don't let it drag you in.
Too late. I'm already hooked. I need the next chapter.
Hey, you made it back. Good.
You're dead.
I hope you didn't get stuck in any of those big puddles. Crazy flooding down there, huh? Just like I said.
Deputy, I want the body taken back to town for a proper examination ASAP.
Well, sure. But the coroner won't be back in town for another week after Deerfest.
Not a problem.
Deerfest.
I'll do it myself.
Oh, and Sheriff Breaker called to say he's got the Bookers at the Oh Dear Diner in town.
Oh dear.
Oh, and I've got a key to the gate. It's a shortcut back to the parking lot just up the hill.
Thanks. Let's get the car, drive to Bright Falls, and talk to these witnesses, the Bookers.
At the diner, right? I could use a cup of coffee.
Let's try that shortcut the deputy mentioned.
Sounds good.
Enter. There we go.
Seems like a nice town so far. Murders aside. Pretty woods. Cute lodge we got set up in. We should go for a hike if we get a chance.
Now you're just being mean, Anderson.
Deputies aren't exactly up to the task, but hopefully the sheriff will be more helpful.
Not a surprise about the deputies. Doubt they see much stuff this gruesome.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the murders, this would be a really nice spot to hike. I'm not checking that out. I'm spooked.
Can't fit the clues all together yet. Heart removed, tripod, tracks leading to a dead end.
A tripod? For a camera? To record a snuff film?
Maybe.
Yeah, like why?
And why take out his heart just to throw it away?
To stuff in something for us to find.
Where are you going? Which way? Oh yeah, I have a map. Parking lot over here. Cool. Forgot I had a map.
Here we are. Let's drive back to town and meet the sheriff at the diner.
Alright.
I can't get that manuscript page out of my head. I've never seen killers reach out so directly before.
Damn impressive work so far. With your technique, these hunches were moving fast.
I wasn't sure about taking a case so far from home, but I'm thrilled to be here for this mystery.
Alright. Oh. I saw the autosave go on, so I'm gonna take the time since we're at the hour mark to pause there, and then next time we will come back with more. So until then, my friends, see you later.